morning, my loves. How are you? This is CR tuning in again, and I just want to share a couple of things. One of the things that I wanted to share this morning is it's about showing up, and I share this because I've definitely struggled with it myself. Even showing up in different parts of my life, showing up here publicly is a whole nother thing. But really, the one thing that I want to speak about the most is showing up for myself, showing up for my dreams and my desires. And one of the things I work with clients on so much is fulfillment. And what does that even mean? What does it mean to me? What does it mean to you? What does fulfillment look like in your life, and are you showing up for it? And if you don't know what it looks like, then you can't show up for it. And I've come to this much deeper understanding of this space because for a long time I didn't know what fulfillment looked like for me. I took somebody else's definition. I took somebody else's desires for what my life was supposed to look like, and I ran with it. And I accomplished it for the most part, but it wasn't fulfilling. I don't think that's a shocker to anybody. Somebody else's definition and somebody else's goals for me were not what fulfilled me. And so many folks come to me because they are either lost or they're stuck. And I want to actually pause there for a second. To folks who are lost and stuck, I want to congratulate you. I know this is weird. Take a deep breath. For folks who are lost and stuck, I want to congratulate you for two reasons. One, you've recognized that you're lost or stuck, or both. That is a step. That is a vital step. That maybe you were lost and stuck before and didn't quite notice it, or lost and stuck before and didn't have the "and I want to do something about it." So knowing that you're lost and stuck is actually important. And I want you to recognize it as important, because if you think, oh, I'm just lost and stuck, you're not going to see already the progress that you've made. The second thing about lost and stuck is I don't see growth and progress as linear. Okay? It is not a straight line. Lost and stuck is not down here. Success and happiness and fulfillment is not up here. Think of it like a cycle that we grow into the different phases of this from time to time. And so lost and stuck means you are outgrowing a phase and there's another phase coming. Okay? So those are some reframes on lost and stuck. Lost and stuck means you've grown, you've stretched, you've done all that you can do, and now you're in that little sticky point in between things, and you can grow and stretch again. And I share both of those things, and I want to give you some personal background. So for years and years, I wanted to write a book. I did. It was something that the first time I started writing a book was in 2006. Quick time check, it's 2020. Yeah, so I sat down to write a book in 2006, and something stopped me, and I fell off the wagon, and I lost my job, I moved countries, I fell in love, I started a journey that I've been on ever since, but the book got pushed aside. And I think we do this with the things that we most desire, the things we want the most. Maybe we start, but somewhere between deciding and finishing, something happens. And so I had actually started various books over various time periods in the last few years as I re-upped my investment to really wanting to be writing. And as you know, those of you who have stuck around with me for more than a minute have seen that in 2020, I've written and or contributed to 4 books. Another one's coming out in August, and the original one that I wrote the year before is actually coming out in September. And so I went from having 0 books. In September, I will have, I think if I count them right, 5 books. And I bring this up for a couple of reasons. Partially, I'm so excited because yesterday my book arrived in the mail. Since March, I live in Colombia, and there is a little bit of a global pickle happening, and so it took a few months for my book to arrive. But now I'm holding a book I wrote. And folks have asked me how it feels, and to be perfectly honest with you, it just feels surreal. It feels surreal to turn the pages and know every one of them so intimately, but it also just feels amazing. And when we think of our goals and our destinations, we think of the amazing. But I need to tell you a couple of things. The creation of this book and the creation of each of the books that I've contributed to and written, actually, and I contributed to another book that arrived yesterday. The other books are still in transit because that's how it works. The night and day before books come out, I thought it was going to be fun and easy and just exciting. All the work is done, and now I'm just going to sit back. Those days are the worst days. The anxiety of putting something out into the world, something that you want. So when I talk with clients a lot about fulfillment, and my puppy really wants to chew my fingers, so I'm just going to pretend that that's not happening. My clients talk to me a lot about fulfillment, and we have these misconceptions of what fulfillment means and looks like and feels like. And those misperceptions block us from trying and keep us stuck. Those misperceptions keep us focused only on the end goal and not really celebrating the process in between. And fulfillment it's not the arriving of the book. Fulfillment is the deciding to do something and going for it, and the bumps and the bruises and the nervousness and the fear and the joy and the excitement and the anxiety. It's all of it, okay? And then the fulfillment of like the completion of the thing, we still have this misperception. I've been looking forward to the arrival of this book for a long time and thought I knew how I would feel. And I was wrong. I was wrong. And that's good. It's okay. So to bring it full circle, if wherever you are in your process, whether you are in the I know I'm lost and I know I'm stuck, but I don't know what to do next. Or, I have figured out what I want to do next, but I don't know how to go further. Or I know what I want, I know what I need to do, and I'm still struggling to take it the next level. I believe in my heart that the ultimate authority for any one of us resides within, and that we have the knowledge and we have the capacity to do what we need to do. That being said, I personally, even holding that deep belief and teaching that deep belief, get to points in my business and in my personal life where I've done all that I know how to do, whether it's intellectually or emotionally, and then I sort of flatline and I get stuck. And I've done this a number of times and said like, oh, well, I used to have a mentor and I used to have a coach and now I know what I need to know. I shouldn't have to rely on somebody. But this goes back to my earlier point of that if you're stuck and if you're lost, it's because you are growing into something new. You are ready to learn something new. And so this is when I call and hire my business coach. This is when I call and hire my mentor, my spiritual mentor. And I'm like, okay, Onani, it is time. I'm ready for you again. I've gotten as far as I can go. Now I want you to come in and go there with me. And this is when folks call me in too, because we have the inherent ability and the knowledge You are biting too much. Go eat a biscuit. Come here. Look, Rosie. See this? Go over there. Go get it. Excuse the distraction, but she was really gnawing on my thumb. In this cyclical life process, learning and growing, we do in fits and starts, and it is a constant process, but sometimes it's more gentle, and sometimes it's more active, and sometimes it's more internal, and sometimes it's more external. Sometimes it's more private, and sometimes it's more public. So we go through these phases, and for me, fulfillment and figuring it out is knowing where you are in that process, knowing what the right next step is, because we're always taking steps. But if we don't know where we are, we may not be taking the right steps. And I am completely guilty of this myself. Just running towards something. But I didn't know where I was, or I didn't know where I was going. I wasn't taking the right next steps. I was putting a lot of energy into something, but it wasn't getting me to where I wanted to go. And sometimes stopping, slowing down, reassessing, calling in support, and then taking an intentional one step is better than running in any direction. So I just wanted to pop in and show up and ask how you are showing up for yourself. What is it that you need the most today? What is it that you need to understand that you haven't figured out? What is it that your body and mind need to feel safe, strong, nurtured, and stretching? Because fulfillment isn't about the arriving at the destination, it is about the reaching for the destination. Think about all the goals that you've ever had. The arrival lasts this long. And by the time you're there, you have a new goal in mind. So fulfillment isn't the arriving. Fulfillment is I have a destination in mind, I have a map, I am putting things into place, and I am showing up for myself. And so fulfillment is the process, it is not the end. So I want to know how you're showing up for yourself. I want to know where you need support. I want to know what your next right step is. If you're not sure, drop me a message. And remember, I haven't said it explicitly, so I'm going to start saying it explicitly. I show up 3 different ways every single month. 3 different ways every single month. On the full moon, I host a conversation between men and women. It is a deep dive. It is an open conversation. It is structured for women and men to connect with one another and to connect with themselves. That's on the full moon this month. It'll be August 2nd, Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll post about that. So always on the full moon, men and women. Always on the new moon, just women. Okay, this is a conversation where women get to connect with themselves in a truly safe space and really be in the presence of other women and recognize how much we have in common and how often we exacerbate our own situations by thinking we're the only ones. We come together in the new moon circle to connect with one another. And then every month I host a 3-part training. In August, coming up in a couple of weeks, is demystifying fulfillment. And I've shared some ideas with you here already, but those are the 3 ways. There's the full moon conversation, the full circle conversation with men and women, new moon conversation with just women, and the 3-part training always here in this group. So drop me a message if you're interested in any of those things. I'll be putting links and sharing those upcoming events over time and as they are relevant. And I wish you a truly beautiful day. Talk to you soon. Bye.